In today's video, I would like to start discussing equipment that I use for service rifle. Now we're going to start with the sling, and I use a Biothane sling. I'm going to show you how to set it up from scratch, attach it to your rifle, and sling up in position. Now the leather sling is done exactly the same way. I just choose to use Biothane. There's also the web sling. I'm going to show you how to set this up, hook it up to your rifle, and get in position with this as well. Welcome back to 10X Power Up. My name is Steve. So one thing I forgot to mention, I'm going to obviously show you how to hook this sling up, but we're handling a firearm, so always make sure your firearm is free from ammunition. I already have done that. So there's 4 parts to your sling, and you have 2 keepers. This is the back part of your sling, and your frogs are pointing in the up direction. This is the forward part of your sling, and you're going to have your frogs pointing in the down direction. This is going to hook up to your forward sling eye, and your rear part of your sling is going to hook up to your rear sling eye. So the first thing we're going to do is put our keepers on to our sling, and then we're going to take the tongue of this and we're going to put it through the sling eye on the back half of the sling. And then we're going to take the tongue and we're going to slide it through the keepers that we already put on. Now it's the same process for a leather sling as the Biothane sling. Now, I just started using Biothane when I started shooting, and I've just stayed with it. And I've really never had a problem with them. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like now. And we're going to attach it to the rifle. So the front tongue, the tongue of your sling, is going to go through your front sling eye. And I'm going to sling up and prone so I know I put it in sling hole number 1. Alright, so that's what that looks like. And then I'm going to take the rear of the sling and I'm going to put it through the rear eye, which is not necessary. A lot of people don't, and nor did I, but I found by doing this I have more control over the rifle when I drop down in position. This is what your sling should look like when it's attached to your rifle. Alright, so now we're going to do the web sling. Now it's going to be a little different than the Biothane or the leather sling. If you remember, on the Biothane I told you to come down on your forward sling eye like this, okay? But we're going to do a little different on the web sling, and the reason for that is I'm going to take the web sling and go up and around, and then I'm going to come into my buckle. The reason for that is I'm going to lock this down. When you go over and under on your sling, this part of the buckle is going to be on the back of your hand. You won't have this part, so it'll be a lot more comfortable for you to be using. And then the rear of the sling has this clasp on it, which I find a little difficult, and it just locks in place like that. Now to adjust this, all you do is pull up on the tongue and you can adjust your sling. If you want to get it set for offhand, then you just slide this down, and that's what it looks like attached to the rifle. And as I said, just pull up on your tongue. Now you can adjust this in any position that you want, for sitting or prone. It's totally up to you where you want it. And you can mark it so it's easy to remember where it is. This is very critical. I've seen a lot of people on the firing line not do this, and their slings will open up on them, and then you lose your position. You must take your sling and turn it 1/4 turn outboard, or a half turn, I'm sorry. Whether you be left-handed or right-handed, it doesn't matter. Then you slip your arm in. And the way I do this is I get it high on my, above my bicep now, so I know it's high. And then I take the inside of the strap and I pull it, and then I finagle this to the outside as far as I can get it, and then I lock it in position. Now you can see how the keepers lock this in play. All right, and then you take your hand and you go over your sling and under to your rifle. So that's what you want it to look like. The reason I attach this to the rear of the rifle is when I stand up and drop in position, it's more support for me holding the rifle. So if I'm dropping in position, you can see with one arm, I'm holding this rifle. And then when I come down in position, the rifle's not going to slam on the deck. So I'm still holding the rifle with one arm. And that's why I do that. Now, I lay out, okay? And then all I do is I shoulder the rifle. And I get my position. The web sling now, it's a little different, because I don't have that big loop that I showed you like I have here on a leather or Biothane. So what you have to do is where this goes through this buckle here, you have to loosen this up. All right? And you're going to make a loop like this. Now, that loop is going to be the same as the loop on a leather sling or a biothane sling. You're going to turn it outboard. Oops. So now what's going to happen here, all right, so now you do the same thing, you get it high on your bicep. All right, now what's going to keep this in place is the way this is cinching right here on this sling, so you can get an idea that when I lock this down, it's not going to move. Okay, so now I'm going to go over and under. Now I'm going to stand up with this sling, and it'll give you a good idea why I attached the rear of my Biothane sling to the rifle. So now when I'm standing up, I actually have to bring this up with two hands, because now you see what happens to the rifle, and I got to lock it into my hip the way I do. So now when I drop in position, I have to hold the buttstock and put it down and come down. And you can see the difference when I use the Biothane sling. And then I just acquire my position. So if you like the information I'm presenting to you, leave me a comment in the section below. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Thanks for watching 10X Power Up. Have a great day, and hope to see you on the range.